Former President Trump says he ripped up his original speech following the assassination attempt and vowed to give a more unifying one tonight to bring the country together. We talk with voters at a Lancaster diner, Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, about the speech and the election. Voters at the Neptune Diner in Lancaster shared their thoughts on the Donald Trump they're seeing after his near-death experience.
Trump looks a little bit more subdued. Whether or not he has actually changed I would be surprised.
I think he can say pretty much anything, and his diehards are going to go along with it.
All that fist pump in the air, that we're so proud to see that as an American.
Chris Arms is a supporter from Lititz. He talked about what he'd like to hear from the former president in his speech.
I think I want him to keep his speech just to the future, not going back and picking anything up on the past from the Democratic.
Diners weighed in on his nominee for vice president, J.D. Vance.
I think it's a good choice. I'm terrified by it, though, because I don't support Trump and his policies. I don't think J.D. Vance is a good representation of what Americans need, but I think politically it was an excellent choice.
Did everything on his own and still kept touch with his grandmother who raised him.
As Republicans work to unite, Democrats remain somewhat divided on whether President Biden, now sidelined with COVID, should remain in the race.
I don't believe that he's in as bad of a state as the common people say. You know, people are saying he's too old.
Is he up for it? And the fact that that's even a question is concerning.
Now, tonight, Melania Trump will make her first appearance at the convention, but she is not scheduled to speak. Eric Trump will, and the UFC's Dana White is set to introduce the former president. Barbara Barr, News 8.